DJ, horse rider, karate master, dentist, race car driver. These are just a few of the many titles claimed by the former president of Turkmenistan, one of the world's most secretive and least known countries. Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov ruled for 16 years, and during that time he passed so many bizarre laws that we decided he deserved his own video. From banning every car color except white ones to making people listen to his own songs. That's not all. After the father, the presidency passed to his son, and the two could easily compete over who's the bigger dictator. With the son in power, life for women in Turkmenistan became a living nightmare. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and tell us if you've ever been to Turkmenistan. And if you're from there, let us know what things are like today. Rumors about Gurbanguly were already circulating way before he became president. Quick history. From 1991 until his death, the country was ruled by Saparmat Niyazov, who could hardly be called a democratic leader. Under him, a cult of personality thrived, but when he died in 2006, Berdimuhamedov came to power and dismantled it, not to free people, but to build his own, even bigger cult. And the rumors, people whispered that the new president was actually Niyazov's illegitimate son. For one, they looked alike. Berdimuhamedov was Niyazov's deputy. And finally, Niyazov was notorious for purging his officials. Berdimuhamedov, on the other hand, has never been caught up in anything like that. Surely not because of his DJing skills. When Niyazov died, the interim presidency was supposed to go to another politician, Atayev. All of a sudden, a criminal case was filed against him, and that's how Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov became one of the strangest presidents in history almost 20 years ago. At his very first election, he won a staggering 90% of the vote, the kind of landslide you just can't ignore. In no time, he became a race car driver, a mechanic, DJ, golfer. I bet even Trump could take some lessons. And an author too. He's published over 50 books, can you imagine that? But if you scratch the surface, things aren't always perfect. 15 years ago, he competed in a horse race, and thank God the footage survived. After picking up speed, the president fell off the horse. He was injured and couldn't get up. His security immediately began inspecting spectators and deleting footage from their phones, footage no ordinary person was supposed to see. But someone managed to hide their phone. And the craziest part, despite not even crossing the finish line, Berdimuhamedov somehow won. His prize? $11 million and 7 horses. Imagine being so great you can win a horse race after falling off your horse. In true dictator fashion, like many in Asia and Eastern Europe, once he played soccer with his ministers. And you can see how that went. His very presence would bring whole cities to life. Empty streets turned lively the moment he appeared on camera. Obsessed with sports, he once began teaching politicians to lift weights. In front of everyone, he heroically lifted a golden barbell. Except it was empty. I'm pretty sure Sacha Baron Cohen's Dictator was based on him. And let's not forget, he's also a race car driver. But not just any driver. He raced in a car he claimed to have designed himself, which he later used to supposedly beat a professional driver. A true master. Imagine playing hide and seek with him as a kid. You find him first, but you still lose, because only little Gurbanguly knows where little Gurbanguly is hiding. And he's got a sharp sense of smell too. Once he refused to drink water served at the same time as Angela Merkel. One of his 50 books was about medicinal herbs. It was used in hospitals and children were made to memorize it at school. Some of his other books were even adapted into films. On top of that, he's an incredible musician. He plays every instrument ever invented. Plus he's a DJ and a successful rapper. You can call him Lil President. He's put out several singles, some even feature his grandchildren. A few racked up over 500,000 views. But there's just this one tiny little detail that's important to mention. In Turkmenistan, newlyweds had to do their first dance to his song. And that's how those views were earned. And of course they had to marry under his portrait. He doesn't know a thing about music though. On his birthday, he didn't force his friends to listen to his songs. Instead he booked Jennifer Lopez. He's also stylish, which is why all black cars got banned. But oddly, he didn't drive his own car, he drove a custom G-Wagon. When the world freaked out over that famous virus a few years ago, the president's solution was pure genius. He simply banned it, removed it from the news, removed it from existence. resistance. Once he realized how easy it was to solve problems that way, he went further and banned queues. Apparently, it was his son who suggested it. Queues supposedly create the impression of hardship, so now officials make sure none appear. And that's not all. He also banned air conditioners in a country with blazing heat, just because they were ugly. At least he didn't ban nighttime, so people can still catch some cool air. Throughout his career, he, quote-unquote, won elections with over 97% of the vote. Makes you wonder where those missing 3% went. I hope they were not punished by listening to his songs and reading his books. 15 years ago, he was already listed among the world's worst dictators, and Turkmenistan ranked near the bottom in economic freedom. A few years back, he stepped down. And then, what a shocker! The presidency went straight to his son, Serdar, and things didn't get better. Serdar is just 44, but his attitude toward women is shockingly conservative. He's not interested in horse racing, cars, books, or rap. The one thing he inherited from his father: the bans. In his first month, a large number of flight attendants in Turkmenistan were fired, not because they were bad at their jobs, but because they had lip fillers or plastic surgery. Yeah, really, that was the reason. 30 years ago, the first president of Turkmenistan declared that women have no right to argue with men and must stay at home. Serdar, he went even further. For 7 years now, swimsuits, bright hair dye, and all kinds of cosmetics haven't been imported. Women in government offices are required to wear national dress. Schools even conducted inspections. High school girls were examined by gynecologists, and if they were not virgins, their parents were dealt with. Under Serdar, a new wave of oppression hit women. About 50 female train workers were fired, again for lip fillers. Breast augmentation also became a firing offense, and rehiring wasn't allowed. It got so extreme that police would detain women wearing false eyelashes or nail extensions. They had to remove them on the spot and pay a fine, almost half a month's salary. By the way, if you're a woman, write down in the comments if you would like to move to Turkmenistan. According to reports, in some public places women were forced to remove masks to get their lips and lashes checked. Even push-up bras were reportedly banned. You can't help but wonder how they even check for push-up bras. Beauty salons started shutting down, services were banned, and workers and owners were threatened with arrest. And it gets better, or worse, depending on how you see it. Serdar banned tight clothes for women, including regular jeans. Some people actually faced fines for that. In addition to that, it's now completely forbidden to film yourself in a swimsuit. For example, if you're a young woman making a TikTok sunbathing video, you could be facing 1, 2, or even 3 years in prison. Stores are banned from selling some cosmetics, lipsticks, nail polish, mascara, but there's no such thing as an official list. It's always up to the inspector's judgment. Women signing up for jobs must sign a special document stating that if they wear banned clothing or makeup, even off-duty, they'll be fired for shaming their workplace. And it's not just about looks. On paper, under pressure from Europe and the US, Turkmenistan denies it discriminates against women. Even the country's website calls it a democracy. Officially, women can drive, but in reality, they can't. Riding in a car with a woman who isn't the driver's relative is completely forbidden. Cars are stopped and checked. In some areas, women can sit in the front seat, and after 8 p.m. they can't be in a car at all. Picture this: the president calls an Uber, and a female driver shows up. What do you think he would do? They even say couples got detained just for holding hands in public. This wave of total bans on women started with Serdar taking power, and it's obvious there's more to come. He's young, hasn't been in charge long, and will rule for as long as he wants, just like his father. But the big question for the next election is, will he score 97 or 98%? This father and son duo has taught the world a masterclass in bans, madness, and downright bizarre laws. Even North Korea's leader is probably a little jealous. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching. До свидания.